The people who used to ask about Peter's condition while coming, the same people now throw stones at Peter. Seeing Peter, he would have changed his way, and all this happened because of a wrong decision of Peter, which Peter cannot rectify even if he wants to. One evening Peter was coming home from office that suddenly Peter found a monk on the way. Peter had not seen the monk before today. I had again it ignoring him. The monk said something that stopped Peter's feet. He said that I'd like Emma very much. I know everything because I love whom used to be that her name was also Emma. Peter asked him about his Emma, but the hermit didn't answer and put his hand on Peter's shoulder and said, Peter, don't worry, take this white rose and put it in Emma's hair. Tomorrow she will say yes to you immediately. Peter found all this strange, but Peter was also blinded by love. Peter took the rose and came home. Peter could not sleep that night. Peter was thinking of that white rose. Peter was imagining his Emma and was thinking all night when Emma would say yes to me. Peter was leaving the next morning. Still he was in love. He was thinking that after saying yes to Emma, he should take her for a walk or ask her for shopping. When Peter reached the office, he did not see Emma. Somehow the day passed and it was evening. But Peter was still waiting for Emma when suddenly Emma appeared in front of Peter. Married her boss. The heartbreak Peter had felt that day. Peter was finding it strange that only then Emma hugged him and said that Peter was about to tell you everything, but everything happened too soon that he did not get a chance. Emma was talking to Peter. She saw a rose in Peter's hand. She took the flower from Peter and put it in her hair. She completely changed as soon as she planted a rose. She was laughing, looking at herself in the mirror. Peter was calling her in the night, but she didn't look back even once. Then Peter saw that Emma was going inside a cemetery. That graveyard was the same where that monk used to live. Peter started watching silently what was happening there, that the monk was calling Emma to him after reciting some mantras. Peter asked the monk that all the work you did to me was a lie. The monk replied that there is nothing like love in this world. If there is anything in the world, then it is only lust and only lust. Saying this, the monk filled Emma in his arms. Seeing this, a fire broke out in Peter's chest. 2 more monks came out of the fire, in which the monk had poured blood and started trying to kill Peter by strangling him. Peter was now beginning to feel ashamed of his actions because Peter was the cause of what was happening to him. Peter begged her to beg Emma for him, but the hermit did not listen to Peter at all. That monk started tearing Emma's clothes. Peter was very sad to see all this, and he started moving towards the fire, and Peter kicked the pot of fire and threw it away as if the fire was over. As soon as the fire ended, those 2 saints disappeared. Sage shouted at Peter and was about to come towards Peter with a knife in his hand when Peter attacked him. Blood started coming out of his mouth and Saint Peter started apologizing. Peter was very angry that he strangled her. But then Peter heard Emma's voice. Emma stood behind Peter with the monk's knife in her hand. Emma had also come to her senses now. When she saw her condition, she understood everything in the very next moment. She was completely broken. She had tears in her eyes. She put all the arrangements on Peter and was crying and telling Peter that you have ruined my everything. You are not my friend. You are my enemy. Peter was not able to understand these words of Emma. Peter had become a monster in his eyes, and it happened because of a wrong decision by Peter. Peter was dying to understand that Emma had committed suicide. He pounded the knife in his hand with dread in his stomach. Peter went on to explain to her that she had stopped him from even touching Peter. Emma died in front of Peter. Peter was crying loudly. Peter could not tolerate those last words of Emma and lost his mental balance. People are scared to see Peter run away, but Peter is lying next to his Emma in the same cemetery.